This is All American Goddess Tabby Cat, and you're listening to Talk Mess Podcast.
Hello, may I speak to Paris Campbell?
Paris Campbell is somewhat on the line.
Somewhat on the line. Oh, Lord.
There's no lash and no nail and no glitter. So.
No, nothing, right? It's just plain old pat. No wrist.
There's the wrist, no patch.
No pat. Well, I would love to introduce everyone to Miss Paris Campbell and welcome you to Talk Mess. Let's see, how long have we known each other? I want to say, well, probably before your Y. We've known each other for quite a while, right?
It's been a while, and we've been talking mess for that entire duration of time.
Ever since Big Bird.
For us.
Ever since Big Bird, right, girl? You know I'll never let you run that down.
Actually, It was like Sister Act. It was like that far.
Yeah, that part, so. Yeah, when you started, then we really started talking. So, well, first off, I would like to welcome you, and we're going to go ahead and get started with some questions that some of our viewers or listeners, are definitely wanting to get answers to. So, first off, how did Paris the drag artist come to be?
That's a great question. There's so many answers, but the long and the short of it is I grew up as a kid that wanted to participate in theater, but was always pushed into football and boy things. And I enjoyed those things, but I always wanted to act. I low-key wanted to sing, but like in a choir, so I didn't have to be the focus. So once I got to high school and was picking electives, I took theater. I think 3 years, enjoyed it.
Did you become a thespian?
No, I did not get thespian title. I did not. But I was still trying to hide it. Like, my family really didn't know. And I was in all of the productions, but that kind of was normal. But I didn't want to take it too far because I was trying to like play it low key, and keep it under wraps.
Gotcha.
But I came out shortly after high school, or I was actually outed, I will say, by a family member.
Really?
That's something. Yeah.
Wow.
And actually, drag is kind of, anyway, we'll get to that, I'm sure. But my original drag mother of Nashville, I'm from Nashville, Niecy Sexton. I was literally just visiting her one day, and we were dancing in her bedroom, doing whatever, and she had a pair of lashes on her dresser. And when nobody was looking, I like put one up to my eye and I saw Paris instantly. Nothing else on, nothing. But I saw it.
Signature Paris with the long lashes.
It's got to be a good lash, I'm telling you. But in that moment, that's kind of where it started. I think maybe 2 months later, I was doing an open show. It was like Latin night, so imagine that. But it was dope. I was hooked immediately.
Okay, so you said Niecy Sexton, right?
Niecy Sexton is my original drag mother.
So she helped develop you, and do you have any other folks that you kind of look up to or helped shape you through the years?
Really, really dope fun fact. My name is actually a combination of two last names. Paris is Secret Paris, who recently passed the end of last year. She was Niecy's mom, so she was my G-mommy. Okay. And then Maya Campbell is my now drag mother. So I just kind of put the names together and went with it.
Oh, awesome. So,
but I will say I have to also, I don't even want to cut you off. I have to also give homage to Bianca Page. Bianca Page. That's right. I'm thinking about Bianca Nicole Iowa's sister. But Bianca Page, who has now passed on, she was a huge humanitarian in not even just Nashville, across Tennessee. She was the first drag queen I ever heard, because I heard her on a mic emceeing a show. And then to Rita Ross, who was also, who is still living but not performing, but she's a former Black American. Those were the two that I first fell in love with, along with Josephine Edwards. So I give them all the credit.
So you're originally then from Nashville,
Nashville,
born and
Tennessee.
raised? Okay. Did not know
Yeah.
that. Okay. I thought somewhere in Alabama or Atlanta, but because I know you're,
No.
yeah, I thought that. Well, see, we learned something new.
Well, as I was competing for Entertainer of the Year, which is where most people know me from,
Mm-hmm.
I had moved to Birmingham at that time. So,
Oh.
when I announced myself, I said from Birmingham because that's where I lived. But yeah, I do live in Atlanta now. I've been here
Mm-hmm.
10 years this year, which people don't even realize. I meet people. They're like, oh, you're visiting? I'm like, no.
Like, no, honey, I have a home here and I can sell you a home too. So let's get that
Listen,
straight.
emphasis on that financing of the home.
Exactly,
Absolutely. We can definitely
exactly.
get
That's
that done.
exactly. I'm sorry. Yeah, let's get it straight before some of these girls come for me. Because you know how that goes. So let's talk about your male persona, which is, if I'm okay to say this, Robert, and
Sure.
you're a very successful businessman. And what skills do you think Robert helps Paris with during like nightlife and dealing with, clubs and all that stuff?
So for me, it's actually the other way around.
Really?
Yeah, people don't believe this, and I don't give a damn because it's the truth. But I'm very reserved and shy, or at least I was. I was very timid, very insecure, very shy, very like
Mm-hmm.
unsure of who I was. And a lot of the presence that I go into business meetings with and I give presentations from, it is from drag. It has been from
Really?
doing on the spot Q&A, presentations and having that energy to connect with people. That I got that from drag. And I have to shout out one of my family members, Sierra
Mm-hmm.
Simone Campbell. She's in
Hey, Miss
Alabama.
Sierra.
Sierra,
This
listen, this
girl.
fool, we have traveled together for years. We will just literally be walking down the street going to a restaurant, and she will stop somebody on the corner and make them believe that they know each other. So that art of being able to talk to someone
Yeah.
like
Yeah, a lot of people
and
don't
make them
realize that
feel
though.
that's an art. Yeah,
Yeah.
I learned that from her. And
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I've just kind of put in my toolbox. I don't like to turn it on often, but when you work in sales
Oh yeah,
and
you got
networking, you
to.
kind of just have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't realize that. I say the hardest thing is doing Q&A on stage, and I think I discussed that with Genesis because I also interviewed her. And the big thing is a lot of folks don't understand how difficult it is, especially if you're a person who is timid or doesn't like dealing with big crowds and all that, coming on that stage and not being really be able to see the audience because you got that big old spotlight on you. It is, and it's very difficult, but I applaud all those girls that, are able to do it because it's not an easy task. I can tell you
That
that.
is actually a secret to winning EOI, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
Being able to be vulnerable and let people feel who you are during that Q&A is
Mm-hmm.
vital. Especially when you have the opportunity to write your bio, you really can tell your story during that moment. And without it being a rehearsed thing,
Yeah.
it has to be natural. It has to flow with the question, but that is an opportunity to really connect.
Yep. It definitely is. All right. So we're going to take a little break and we'll be back shortly. We're on the line with Paris Campbell. We're back and we are with Miss Paris Campbell. Now, Paris, tell me some of the titles that you have won in the past.
Sure. So, oh God, listen, I have a box of crap.
Girl, we only got 20 minutes. Don't go there.
I'll tell you the highlights for me. My
No,
first
you can
pageant
name them.
was,
Go ahead.
I can't name all of them.
Okay.
I've had a great great little run. A lot of
Hmm.
bar things and stuff like that. But Stars over Alabama was my first, I believe, and that crown was. I don't know if you guys have seen Tova's crown with
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
It was
huge.
ridiculous. It
Mm.
made me cry when I wore it because I had to wear it for so long and it hurt so bad. It was like digging into my scalp. And I'm at this like
Mm.
black tie event trying to keep my lashes on because I was in so much pain. Anyway,
Mm.
but that was the first. I'm a former Central Alabama Pride, which was a big one for me because I think that was the first time the Birmingham community like really saw me. Um, in Alabama, crew titles are huge too. So I've gone on to win Miss Druid, and then I was Miss Birmingham Apollo, and then went on to win Miss National Apollo, which is really what gave me my insight on how to reign.
Hmm.
It's not a real quote unquote national, but myself and my Mr. Javon May St. James, we treated it as such. We did national walks. I remember walking at Black America and getting
Hmm.
a
I
lot of
remember all
respect
that.
there. So
Yeah.
yeah, like it was my like practice round. Like, okay, you really want to be EOY, so let's pretend like you're already there. It's just like show up as the winner
Right.
kind of, mentality.
Yeah. No, I mean, you should. You're representing a title. So,
Yeah,
and what else?
but
Any other ones?
those are my favorites. I will have to go back and look, but those are the ones that really stand out to me. And I'm thinking about crowns. Like, what are my favorite crowns? It's horrible.
Now, you are a former EOYFI, and
What?
what? Girl,
I did that?
you did that. You,
It
you went,
only took 20
you went,
years.
you went around the room too.
Well, I did literally.
You did. With a nice little light too. But,
Hey, it worked.
exactly. Exactly. So tell me some of the challenges that you faced being, entertainer of the year.
You kind of were my sounding board. Do you want to start with this list or no, I'm kidding.
Girl.
So first, here's the thing. We
Mm,
Zodiac and I won on the back end of COVID.
yeah.
And I just had this thought in my head, like this is not going to work. People are still recovering, trying to get their finances in order. How am I going to sell prelims? When I won, there were five preliminaries to Entertainer of the Year.
Yeah.
And 1 month into our reign, we lost a promoter, John Buchanan, Texas.
Yeah.
Absolutely adored that man. He passed away, so that took us to four. So sorry, they got a little heavy.
Yeah.
I
No,
just
I got you.
remember early on during my reign, getting ready to go to my first appearance at Continental. Um, I was so depressed because it felt like every day I was doing rest in peace posts.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was.
literally just saw this week, one of my memories came up when Jerry Bird passed, and it was just like
Hmm.
every day, it was a constant. And I had to stop myself. I said, this is your reign, but unfortunately, you're going to be the somber queen if you keep doing this every day.
Yeah.
Even though that's what it was, it's what was going on. I just didn't want that to mark and be the precedence for my reign. So that was that. So getting, and the fight that we had trying to get people scheduled for prelims, we had so much interest,
Yeah.
but no one wanted to schedule because everybody was expecting the numbers, the COVID infections to go back up. So
Yeah.
getting
That
people on
and
that
all the mass
calendar,
restrictions and all that crazy stuff.
it was hell getting people on the calendar. The interest was there, but getting them to book and confirm was a nightmare, which then spilled over into traveling season.
Mm.
Phenomenal job getting the prelims. Had a great turnout. I don't remember if we ended up getting to 14 or 16 or 8. I don't remember the number. I know
Yeah.
it was massive. Had a great year. But that meant me traveling from February
Yeah, you were. I
all the
remember
way
us
through
talking. You
August
were every weekend. You were
every
practically
weekend.
booked, with the exception, I think, of one of them that had it on a Monday or something like that. I think it was in
Yep.
Florida or something
It
like
was
that.
literally, I think that was Michigan. That was one of the last
Oh,
ones.
Michigan.
But
Okay,
I was
gotcha.
I was on the road every single weekend from February to August. And my body was tired. I had to have emergency surgery.
Lord.
That was the weekend of Georgia. My prelim, I couldn't perform because I had surgery 2 days before because my appendix was like, we're done.
Yeah, it's like that was it. Stop.
But my main challenge is coming in when they put the ground on my head. I said I have work to do. I wanted to build equality with the Mr. Division. We already know what I personally feel about that.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to incentivize people to come because it is such an abundant legacy. We're at what, year 21, 22 now,
22, I
and
believe.
I don't feel it's gotten the light. And I'm
Yeah.
willing to share that with anybody. I don't think it's gotten the light, but I
No, yeah,
also know the
it needs some
business
TLC. It
behind
really
it.
does.
It
So,
does, and stay tuned.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then the other part of that was me as a person of color, as a black entertainer. I wanted to get Entertainer of the Year back into the black community. So I was at every national black walk I could to get people to see me and say,
Mm-hmm.
I can do that. I can be that. I am camp. I am big. I am production. Like that was huge for me. And I'm seeing, we're seeing the results of that work. I get a lot of inboxes about people now having interest, with me as a farmer.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, we've had Raquel, we've had Mocha, we've had Nicole, we've had Tasha, we've had great black people of color in Queens, but I think we needed someone current and young for other people to say, I can do it too.
Oh, hold up. You're not seasoned?
Well, listen, I'll let people answer
That's
that
an inside
themselves.
joke.
Oh, I know.
That's an inside joke between me and Paris. So, full
And George.
transparency. Yeah, and George, if he's listening. But yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't
So,
want to get a call.
probably
You
Paris.
think you're so funny, huh?
Uh-huh. But
But that was a big thing for me. I wanted, that's DIY. Say what you want about it and whatever, but that check ain't nothing to shake a stick at. It is still
hmm
very prestigious and it can do really, really great things for you. So
I
I
mean,
just
yeah,
wanted
and the
more
fun
people
and
to
the
look
great
like
thing
me.
is you're part of that long legacy now of 30. I think we're at 32 queens.
32. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is awesome. Now, on the flip side, what do you think you're going to do to in your next national title that you can
What's that?
take? Hold on, or are we having the next national title? Well, we'll find
Um,
out. No, 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 no. We're not going to give that away. Once we come back, we will talk all about that. This is
I'm
Talk
with it.
Mess with Adrian and Paris Campbell. And we're back, and let's let everybody know somebody is hanging up their tights and selling their wigs online. And why is that?
What do you mean tights? Those are my legs. When y'all see me,
hmm
those are mine. It's so tights. It's just
But
skin.
let's just say she was very stern on her post. I am not accepting. I'm not putting anything on hold, and I'm not doing. I'm like, girl.
Listen, because people in those groups will play you. I'm gonna buy that
I
wig
wouldn't.
next
Can you
Thursday
put
when
it
I
on
get
hold?
300. Go away. No.
No,
I
no.
mean,
But
I
on a
wish I
serious
could, but you
take,
just can't.
so you are, well, unfortunately to our community, deciding to hang up your tights, and why is that?
So, okay. So the real is there's not an official. I don't have a official status
Mm,
right now. I might decide to do something big or do. I might compete. I don't know. In the long term, I don't know. Right now,
okay.
it's just not my focus. I it's a challenge.
hmm
So I feel like with my life, I've spent a lot of time doing things for other people. I took care of a disabled sibling up until he passed, so my life wasn't that. To really grieve that loss, I picked drag back up again because a lot of people don't know that I took a 3 or so year break when I moved to Atlanta. And I picked drag back up because I needed something to fill the void. Now that I have completed what has been such a long-standing goal, I don't have the same fire that I had in me pushing me to
Mm-hmm.
keep coming back, to keep growing with the system. And I feel like it would be unfair, or it wouldn't be, for me, it wouldn't be right for me to go and put my name on another list where I don't have the same passion because it's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of work. I know that I can win, and I'm not saying it will be, oh, I
Yeah, no, no,
sign my
I
name and
know.
I'm a
You're not trying to
winner.
be
I
cocky or
know
anything. Yeah.
right, not at all, but I know how to compete now. Like I know how to do it, and I know that I have the capacity to reign. But drag is very expensive. Drag is very time consuming.
Oh,
It
yes,
takes
it is.
so much of you from a spiritual and just emotional level, and physically as well, that I just don't know if I do not. I can't say I don't know. I want to invest my being into the next level of my playing, whatever that is, whatever that goes, wherever that takes me. I want to invest into me solely.
Mm-hmm.
And if drag returns, it returns. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that. I will
Okay.
always be a former entertainer of the year. So if I want to pop up and be pretty over, an EOY weekend, I have that option.
And be a church girl.
And I'm good with that.
And be a
Oh, I don't want
church
to talk
girl.
about it. I don't want to talk about it. It was so hot.
No,
It was
but you
so
did
hot in
such an
there.
awesome job. I actually have a clip of it that I'm going
No,
to be putting
I don't
up.
even want to see the clip because let me tell you what happened from the entertainer's point of view. On my side,
What
it was
happened?
so hot running from the judge's table to get ready and all of that. By the time I got to the stage, my tape had came up, like my tape started sweating,
Really?
and there goes my hair in the middle of the performance. Oh yeah, I tried to fix it. You play it off, you have fun with
Oh,
it,
okay,
but
yeah, and that makes sense now.
in
Because I
my
was like,
head,
why is she yanking on her wig?
man, I was
Oh,
furious in my head, but
but
shit happens.
no,
It is what
you
it
did
is.
it. No, you know what? Honestly, unless you had
No, trust
no,
me.
seriously, unless you
For
told
what was
me,
in my mind, for me to really
yeah.
let loose in that moment, like the song said, I couldn't because now I'm concerned that my hair's gonna come off.
Yeah, no, 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 no. Now I understand because I was like, but you played it off very well though, and that's why
But that's
until
me.
you
That's
told me
that's my
now,
character.
yeah,
My character is a little bit of camp. It is that charisma. It is the feeding into the audience. My tip line was amazing because they had to play this. They had to rewind the song.
yes, I did.
And I just took that money to the bank a couple of days ago. That's horrible.
That's funny
Anyway,
because
but
yes, I did. I was like, oh, girl, she ain't done. Okay, let's flip it
yeah.
back because I saw that
I
look
live for
like,
those moments. I'm sorry. I live for those
I saw
moments.
your look
It
and
makes me feel good.
who was it else? Oh, Mocha too. She looked back and I was looking at my monitor and I was like, oh, because full transparency, I work for Entertainer of the Year and I was doing the audio visual and I was looking and I was like, girl, oh my God, we're gonna start this all over again. Okay, let's go. 'Cause I don't want to
Well,
get yelled at. So I was
I
like,
know, and I thought so. Here's the thing: what I love is the love that EOY gives me. When I get to
mm-hmm,
Louisville, it is just like I'm mayor of the weekend. I don't know what it is,
yeah,
and I question was that just because I was raining? Because my during my give up that happened every time I hit the stage. Before y'all even finished saying my name, those people had lined up from
yep.
front to
It started
back.
giving you money.
But I mean, it's your give up, so you're thinking, they're celebrating the rain.
No,
Nah,
but
they
with
just really like me.
yours,
They really like
they got
me,
it
and
in
the
front of their
numbers.
camera. I was like, what? Oh my God, can y'all move?
So though, and the number of shots they fed me this year was.
Hmm.
Let's keep that going.
Right. So okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna move to the next question. So let's say in the future you do, let's say, adopt or have children. Would you let them know about Paris? And if so, what would you let them know Paris stood for?
So I mean, you kind of spilled the beans, and I'm not mad about it.
Oh,
That
my
is my
bad.
next journey.
Okay,
No, it's
yeah.
fine. My next journey is fatherhood. That's what I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
I won't get into the details of
Of
what
course. No, no,
method,
no. We'll
but
we'll keep that. Yeah. No, no, that's fine.
I'm happy to share that once I cross that line.
Okay.
That is the next journey, and I'm praying for news
Okay.
relatively soon.
Awesome.
Um, would I don't know. I honestly today can't answer that question.
No problem.
I will say, that is a motivator of me putting a hold right now because I want to make sure that I'm fully. And let me tell you this.
Mm.
Back in July, getting ready for EOY this year, I called George, and it was a question about something completely unrelated.
Yeah.
But he and I had a hour and a half long conversation about this very thing.
Mm.
And I won't tell his story, but
Mm.
his remarks were to make sure that I invested the time, make sure that I was present, those things that he just really poured into me, his experience. And for me, that was confirmation that I was doing the right things,
Mm.
setting things up for a pause or a halt, whatever that is, and leaning into those desires. So I actually
Okay.
have a lot of respect for him for that conversation.
Awesome. Awesome. And we'll end it at that. I don't want to pry too much because I know it's something that you're working on, and we'll
Mhm.
see. Hopefully, we'll see something in the future, or you come back on and tell us about fatherhood, and that would be awesome.
Now, I
So,
do want to go back on a question because
mm-hmm.
I think this is important. And let me make sure. I don't want to
Which one?
go too far. If I were to continue competing, I know the route that I would take. I can tell you that now. I know exactly. Should I say or should I just leave it?
No, yeah, go
What do you
ahead.
think?
No, no, go ahead.
So, if Paris Campbell was to continue at this trajectory, competing in national pageantry, my next stop would be All American Goddess.
Oh,
I had the
yes.
pleasure of judging that during my reign.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, that insight kind of gives me the ability to reverse engineer competing there.
Mm-hmm.
I would go from there, I would go to Black America, which
Oh.
that would really break up and make a little noise.
Oh yeah, because
um,
my face just lit up right now when you said that. I'm like, oh okay.
I would absolutely go there. I trust Benny Mosley and his vision. And I would love to have a the family and the community that comes with that.
Yeah.
That is not a competition that is easy to win, but I know if I brought a little bit of that EOY with me, a little bit of that extra finesse that Black pageantry has, I would be a great standout.
Yeah, we used to
Um,
film them years ago, and it is a very big, tight, very good family to be part of. So,
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
And then I would wrap it up with Gay America.
Gay
What
America.
I would have.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yep.
that sounds good. All right, now the last question. Now, if Paris had an opportunity to go back in time and talk to her younger self, what do you think she would say?
Step your toe in more to Black pageantry. I
Oh,
think
okay.
had I done a, and I don't want to say Black because they're not just limited to Black people or people of color.
Mm-hmm.
However, they are widely known in the Black community. But had I done a Black based or Black owned newcomer pageant early
Mm-hmm.
on and gotten successes there and built a team amongst that whole arena, I would have won Entertainer of the Year quicker because my issues
Really?
were always, yes, absolutely, because the focus is on garment and having that finesse and knowing how to model.
Mm-hmm.
Those were that's what I lacked with Entertainer of the Year. It took me a while to get that because I was trial and error trying to figure it out as I went. That would have given me the grooming. I would have won Entertainer of the Year much sooner. I probably would have won in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
which is the year I got second runner up. Now, I'm glad that I didn't in retrospect because that was the year Ginger Manchester won, and ultimately
Yeah.
she passed
Mm-hmm.
not long after. So that was a huge highlight to the end of her life. Um, but I do believe that everything comes at its right time. So I have no qualms about winning 11 years later. There were six attempts. I have no qualms about it. I have enjoyed, and I at this point in my life was when I could do it effectively. I had the ability to get on a plane and get to where I needed to go and still work and be the administrator. So Timing is everything,
definitely.
but I would have gotten that extra grooming and extra finesse early on.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Well, that comes to a sad end right now. We're going to wrap up the show. I want to say thank you for coming on. I love you as a friend, and then as an entertainer, you are phenomenal. And I hope I get to speak with you again on another show in the future.
We have a
Uh,
lot more mess to talk for sure.
right. I want to say, Lord, if you and I can talk and be real about some of the things that we both go through, oh Lord, a lot of people would unfriend us. But we're gonna
I
end
probably
this.
don't have a problem with that.
That exactly, because both you and I are very outspoken. So,
Absolutely.
all right, honey. I love you, and I'm glad you came on. And this concludes our show, Talk Mess. And my special guest is Paris Campbell.